Mic check, mic check, mic check. It's weekend 6 of 10 as we move away from Alton Park to Croft in North Yorkshire. It's time for round 17 round this 2.13 mile circuit. It's time to see what Colin Turkington can do from pole. Hello everyone and welcome to the British Touring Car Championship round 17, race 2 of the day. 13 more races to go and the next one is here. We're just waiting to head down to Louise on the grid and we should be getting ready to go. Let's just give you an idea of the grid. It's Colin Turkington ahead of Tom Ingram row 1. Then it's Dan Camish and Ash Sutton row 2. Row 3, Taylor Smith and Hill. Huff and Cook 4. Row 5, Chilton and Rowbottom. Row 6, Dover and Watson. Row 7, Morgan and Moffat. Row 8, Smiley, Pearson. Row 9, Sumpton, De Leon. And row 10 is Osborne and Halstead. Pit lane is open. Cars are heading to the grid and we wait to hear from Louise Goodman on her grid walk, which should be coming up momentarily. We're just waiting for ITV to head off of an ad break, which they should come off a couple of minutes time. Then we will go down to the grid to hear the latest from the grid. Colin Turkington was your race winner in race 1. And we'll see if he can do the double here at Croft. Let's head down to ITV, who will have the latest news momentarily. We'll just get them ready to go. Okay, let's head down to ITV with the latest news now.
Great getaway by Turkington.
Let's have a look at race 1.
He tries to defend from Ingram, who gets 2 wheels on the grass as they blast their way down towards Clairvaux Corner for the first time. And Rob Huff, in the meantime, is losing out. That's Ash Sutton, who goes charging past him.
Ingram has got through on Camish. Camish has had to straight line the chicane. Down the inside comes Hill, makes the move on Smiley, nice and clean.
Race 1 of the day, won by Colin Turkington, and the points that go with it are going to be vital for the championship.
Well, that was a couple of hours ago. Colin Turkington taking his 15th race victory around this Croft circuit. Tom Ingram in second, taking over the championship lead. But now really comes the hard part, because the top 6 on that grid are required to race on hard tyres, with everyone from with drivers from Rob Huff backwards on the soft tyres. This is where the tactics come into play, and this is where the tyre regulations can really spice things up. Can they force their way through? What is the delta like?
Definitely. The delta's a lot more, the time difference between the hard and the soft tyre. The delta is a lot more than I actually give it credit. It's over a second, so I would say we're going to see some Toyotas up there with Cook and with Rob Huff, and it's the 2 feisty good overtakers we've got there, because you need to be like that. But you've got Ingram and Turkington, who might be able to hold on for a podium. It's going to be very, very interesting.
So is the race winner going to be on soft tyres?
I would like to think so. They've got more hybrid as well. You know, the hybrid I've not seen make a massive difference here. It's made a difference, but not a massive difference. I'm intrigued to see how soft and the hybrid gets on, but can Turkington hold on? Can Ingram win race 2? Maybe.
We're about to find out. Let's go straight down to the grid and join Louise.
Thank you, Steve. And while we wait for the touring cars to join us, I'm with two guys who are no stranger to a race grid. Sam Tordoff, in fact, we've just seen him out in the early historic race. But Sam, it's the first time you've been on a touring car grid since you raced in the series back in 2019. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it's nice, it's exciting. It's obviously my local circuit as well, so it's good to be back. Some stuff changed, other stuff exactly the same, a lot of familiar faces, and a lot of drivers obviously still here that I raced with for many years, which feels like a long time ago now. I'm definitely older and greyer, and I'm a bit more fatter since then. But no, I'm enjoying it. It's nice to be back. Obviously you get itchy feet, you know, you come on the grid and think, oh, I'd like to have a go at this again.
Well, that was my next question. Would you like to have a go at this again?
Well, you never lose. You know, I love driving. I love the thrill of it. You can't replicate that in any other part of life. So, you know, I'm lucky I still do a bit with the historics that you've just seen earlier today. But for sure, yeah, you know, if there was a spare seat going at the next round, I would jump in a heartbeat.
Okay. Might be someone out there listening, you never know. And let's grab a word with a man who we were hoping to see out in the historic race, Max Chilton, former F1 driver, brother, of course, of Tom. It was a bit of a short-lived, well, you didn't actually make it to the grid, did you?
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear you, but yesterday we had an amazing race. Yeah. We qualified not amazingly in 7th, but then had a mega start, and we battled our way to a podium finish behind this man here, and amazing. Absolutely love racing the historics. It's such good fun. You're basically looking out either passenger or the driver's window because you're always on opposite lock. Today, unfortunately, we had to change the gearbox overnight, and we had a problem with the clutch. The moment I left the dummy grid, the clutch went to the floor and I had no gears. So the gearbox is out again. Hopefully we'll get on the grid, but there's 30 cars. I'll be starting last. It should be very fun coming forward as long as the car behaves.
In the meantime, you're here supporting your brother. How's he getting on?
Yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, he was actually really quick in practice yesterday. Qualifying wasn't as great, but actually that first race went really well. I think he was the 3rd of the hard tyres behind Huff and Cook. So Huff and Cook and himself should be the ones to watch in this race. If he can get himself up to top 3 or 4, then he'll be looking good for later on today. So
I'm going to go and have a word with him. Okay. Whilst I look down at that car, can you remind me, is the wheel on the left or the right? Because he's got the cover over it. I can never remember.
God, I'm going to say it's on this side.
All right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Right, fingers crossed he's got it right. Yes, he has. Fantastic. I really should remember these, but there's just too many of them. So, Tom, you were so quick yesterday. In fact, you set a new lap record in Q1, but then it just all went a bit pear-shaped thereafter in qualifying, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It was such a buzz. All day Saturday was great. Great FP1, great FP2. Fastest lap all time Q1, as you said. And then Q2, the tyres didn't work. They just did not work. And I can't go into details why, but it was a real shame because I should have been on the front row with Colin, sadly. But good news is I got the hard tyre out of the way for race 1. Got rid of that horribly hard thing. Now we've got the nice juicy soft on, so I'm really excited.
How high up this grid can you get? What kind of position are you aiming for?
Well, at the moment you've obviously got myself, Huff and Cook, we're obviously, and Rowbottom diagonally behind me. We're all on the softs here. You'd think it's going to be us 4 really pushing through for the podium, so it just depends on how we dice in the race to where we actually end up.
Right. It's going to be fun. I'm sure this, as Tom says, this is going to be the juicy bit of the grid because this is where all the guys on the soft tyres are. So we've got Huffy and Josh Cook, who I'm about to dive in and have a word with now. So and another driver who, Josh, it's not quite all been plain sailing. Certainly in race 1, you were dealing with a few issues, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a couple of little things that reared their head. So pleased to obviously make it through, but I think we were still competitive even with those. So fingers crossed, everything's nothing rears its head again and we get to move forwards in this race. Obviously we're starting in a good position on the soft tyre, got my teammate next to me, so hopefully we can move forward together.
Well, and how much teamwork can there be in this situation? Because you're both trying to get ahead, but you've also, I mean, as I was just saying, this is where all the soft runners are, so everybody's going to be in the same situation, trying to work their way through to the front.
Yeah, of course, you can have the nice little ideal fantasy of us just working together, carving through the field, and but it never normally pans out like that. Look, if there's an opportunity that he can help me and I can help him, we're obviously going to do that, but we've also got our own races to concentrate on. We also have to bear in mind that we've got a load of cars behind us on softs that want to move forwards, and of course we need to capitalise early on when the softs are good, because we do know they taper off towards the end of the race, and that's when the hard tyre may have an advantage towards the end. So we've got to look after the tyres, Got to try and make some progress and make sure that we bring it back to the end.
So how many laps have you got to make hay while the sun is shining?
It depends how hard I work them early on,
Okay.
and you're in that sort of catch-22 because you don't want to sit here and wait to have good tyres at the end, but you also need to make sure that you make some progress. So it all comes down to how hard you push it when the tyre's cold, how much stress you give sort of understeer and mid-corner, really asking a lot from the tyre. So you've got to make sure that you're nice and careful initially. If I do that, I'll reap the rewards towards the end of the race, but of course the most important thing is track position.
Cool. Right, have a good race. Right, time. I think I've got a couple of minutes left, so I just want to work my way forward and see if I can catch up with Jake Hill, who started P11, if my memory serves me right, in race 1. And Jake opted to go with the soft tyre because it was really important to him to get up with the front runners, with the guys that he's competing against. So Jake, with hindsight, given that quite a few of the other guys on this grid opted for the hard in race 1, are you comfortable with what you did, or would you have preferred to be on the soft tyre for this race?
It's always a risk, isn't it? Because we just didn't know how many cars were going to go onto the hard, and obviously, pretty much everyone up into Huffy, who was sixth in, qualified sixth in that one, went hard, which is quite surprising. So many of the front runners did. So it's only really my main championship antagonist that went softs, and obviously I went that route as well. So in hindsight, yes, of course, it would have been probably the better move to have gained a couple of positions and then got onto the soft tyre. But I still think we've got a good car. We're going to try and jump one or two off the line here, and then hopefully they can stop some of the soft guys coming through a bit quicker.
That's going to be the key, really, isn't it? You've got a fast-starting BMW. You've got a couple of cars in front of you that aren't potentially as quick as you. So it's about making the most of that start.
For sure, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, the track's a lot hotter now than it was in race 1. The hard tyre will survive a lot longer than the softs. I had fairly decent drop off that last race for the last 4 laps. So the front wheel drive cars, I think, are going to be particularly bad in this one on soft. So yeah, if we can just hold the fort for 4 or 5 laps, then I think we'll be plain sailing.
Okay, listen, have a good race out there. It is going to be fast, it's going to be furious, and it's going to be coming up after this short break.
Yeah, well, as ITV go to a break, we do not, and we continue to look forward to the race that is about to take place. Okay, so it is 15 laps around this Croft circuit, the 2.1 mile circuit, and we're getting ready. Momentarily we will be on the formation lap, and we'll take you through the grid in full with tyre allocations there as well. We also will get the hybrid allocations coming through there. Also, just looking at all the data screens that we have, let's have a quick look at the weather if I get it up quickly, just to give you an idea of what the weather is doing out on the circuit. Here we go. If I just press the correct buttons. Here we are. So, humidity is 56%, air temperature 22.3 degrees, track temperature 38.4 degrees, wind direction is south at a speed of 6.9 miles per hour. We've had no rain today. It's cloudy and a dry track surface. We'll see if that stays for race 3 as well a little bit later on. Okay, so let's quickly take you through the top 10 of race 1. It was Colin Turkington, followed by Tom Ingram, Dan Camish on the podium, Ash Sutton, Aaron Taylor-Smith, Jake Hill, Rob Huff, Josh Cook, Tom Chilton and Daniel Rowbottom, the top 10. Your winning independent driver Aaron Taylor-Smith in 5th, then completing the independent podium was Mikey Doble in 11th overall, 2nd in class, and 15th overall, 3rd in class, Chris Smiley. Time penalties, car 18, Daryl De Leon. That was 10-second penalty for a false start. And then car 11, which was Andrew Watson, who finished 12th overall, got a 1 second time penalty for C2.3 in the TOCA regulations. Cars just a couple of minutes away from getting on the formation lap. We are 5 minutes delayed, which is less than what I thought we would be, so just under 2 minutes to go until the start of the formation lap. We will throw down quickly when ITV return to Steve Ryder, who will introduce David Addison and Tim Harvey once the cars get onto the formation lap, and we will do that in a couple of seconds time. 31.5 miles this race is, with 15 laps, as I mentioned earlier on. We were not near the race lap record. We were 5/10 off of it, half a second off it in race 1. We'll see what it is in race 2 by Colin Turkington. That was a 1:22.243, the fast lap in race 1, and the independent fastest lap was from Aaron Taylor-Smith, a 1:22.799 in his Vauxhall Astra Evans Halshaw Power Matched Racing entry. Okay, let's head down to Steve Ryder, who will introduce David Addison and Tim Harvey ahead of the formation lap for round 17 of 30, race 2 of the day here at Croft.
Tyres are the topic at Croft. Will the hard tyres at the front of the grid resist the challenge of the soft tyre runners behind? It's round 17 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship, and we're back with Tim Harvey and David Addison.
Steve, thanks. Temperatures are most definitely going up. Colin Turkington on pole position once again, but now on a different tyre.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see how those at the front on the hard tyre survive. Those with the advantageous soft tyre, the first ones are Rob Huff in 7th and Josh Cook in 8th.
So the cars in a moment are going to be released onto this formation lap, and lots of weaving is going on to try and get more warmth into the tyres. You think, well, it's a hot day, why do they need to weave around? They want as much temperature as they can, and that's why working the tyres so vigorously is going to be so important. Colin Turkington then at the front.
Thanks, David and Tim Harvey, and we'll go through the grid in a moment, keeping an eye on Colin Turkington at the front of the field. Tom Ingram just behind him as well. Then the two nappers. Then Aaron Taylor-Smith, Jake Hill, Rob Huff getting involved as well. Okay, row 1, Colin Turkington and Tom Ingram, both on the hard tyres. Then it is row 2, Dan Camish and Ashley Sutton, they are both on the hard tyres. Row 3, Taylor Smith, Hill, both on the hard tyres. Row 4, Rob Huff and Josh Cook, they are both on the soft tyres. Row 5, Tom Chilton, Daniel Rowbottom, both on the soft tyres. Row 6, Mikey Doble, Andrew Watson, both on the soft tyres as well. Adam Morgan, Aidan Moffat, they are also both on the soft tyres. Row 8, Chris Smiley and Ronan Pearson, both on the softs. Scott Sumpton and Darrell De Leon, row 9, both on the soft tyres. And the final row of the grid, Sam Osborne and Nick Colstead, row 10, both on the soft tyres of the choice of tyres. Just getting ready then. Let's head down and talk to Nick Colstead.
Guys up front are good guys.
Yeah, true.
And they will also not be making it easy for the cars to come through. And there's quite a few of them, 6 of them on that hard tyre. But we'll see. We'll see.
And of course, whilst those drivers on the soft are trying to get...
let's not... Okay, hybrid laps available. Turkington 1, Ingram 2, Camish 3, Sutton 4, Taylor Smith 5, Hill 6. They are the hard tyres, and then Huff on 7 on the soft tyres, and then everyone else 8 laps of hybrid. Turkington into the final hairpin. The final corner at the circuit. The green flags fly for the formation lap. And we are getting ready on board with Ash Sutton as he looks towards the front of the grid. He's got Tom Ingram in front of him. And they will be watching on to the lights, and they'll be looking in the rear view mirror to see when the grid will be formed. The final cars at the back of the grid get ready to line up. Round 17 of 30 of the 2024 Quick Fit British Touring Car campaign. Nick Kolstad lines up at the back, and we are ready to go. 15 laps, 31.5 miles round this Croft circuit in North Yorkshire. Green flag at the back, and the 5-second board will be displayed. We look to the red lights, and they turn on now. Sunny conditions here at Croft. Lights out, race on for round 17 of the season. Very good start from Colin Turkington. He's already got a car length. Tom Ingram also gets a good start. He gets away from the pack, and then here comes the pack. Camish gets a little bit of dust. Hill gets pushed out wide, but he is able to do it in towards turn 2. Taylor Smith getting a bumper from behind. Colin Turkington still leads by Tom Ingram. Then a bit of a gap to Camish, who cuts the chicane. That's one of the Toyotas. One of the Toyotas cut the chicane, and Ingram looks to go side by side with Colin Turkington. Ingram round the outside, he's in front. Will he be able to keep it? Colin Turkington is behind, but he will look down the inside, down towards the Jim Clark S's. Tom Ingram takes the lead in the early stages of lap 1 of this 15-lap race, and that is Rob Huff going very wide, and that's Taylor Smith not knowing what track limits is as well, very nearly spinning it out on the dirt. Those two cars of Huff and Taylor Smith. Through Sunny, out we go down towards the complex for the first time. Ingram leads by half a second to Turkington, then to Camish, then to Sutton. Huff and Taylor Smith, Cook, Rowbottom, Hill and Chilton your top 10. Single file through the complex we go. Sutton looks round the outside of Camish into the hairpin. They're side by side, the two nappers, and Hill and Chilton are side by side through the hairpin, as well as Morgan and that of the 11 of Watson. A lot of dust kicked up on the exit of the hairpin. Someone on the grass down the back, the front stretch for the final time. Sutton gets in the gravel up at turn 1, and that is because Camish pushed him a little bit, but he keeps it on the circuit. Camish trying to get through, but Sutton stays ahead, and that allows Rob Huff to catch up to Camish and Sutton to get away. Huff looking up the inside into Tower. Can he do it? Yes, he does. He dives late on the brakes, and Huff gets through on Dan Camish. So Dan Camish is down to 5th on lap 2 of 15. Turkington using his hybrid to try and get back up to Tom Ingram, but Tom Ingram has this currently in control by a second. Little lock up from Sutton as he goes in towards Sunny Inn, and Turkington is falling back into the hands of Ash Sutton as they go through Sunny. Out they go, using all the exit curb, but not that much. Down towards the complex they go. The battle for second, Turkington and Sutton. Sutton in towards the hairpin we go. And that is Moffat trying to get round the outside of Taylor Smith. Now dives to the outside of turn 1 and down towards the straight we go. and Ingram, and Turkington is out of hybrid for the rest of this race. So Turkington has already used his hybrid. Hill dives up the inside of Chilton down in towards turn 1. Through turn 2 they go, lot of dust being kicked up. Chilton trying to get up the inside of Hill through turn 3 and towards turn 4 and 5 at the chicane we go. He cannot do it. Hill gets a little bit in front, and now Chilton is coming under attack from Morgan. And that is Turkington going off wide. Turkington has locked up and he is off at Tower. Turkington has made a massive mistake and has to cut the corner and goes off wide. Very lucky not to collect anyone, and that will drop Turkington down. So Turkington has made a mistake and he is down into 8th position. Turkington down to 8th. Lock up in front from Tom Ingram, I do believe, unless if that's Huff. Huff has capitalised on that mistake from Turkington, and Huff is up there as well. Huff is up to 2nd. Turkington drops down. Let's have a look what happened. Turkington got a front bumper from Sutton, and that forced Turkington to lock up and get into the grass. So Sutton caused Turkington that mistake, and that may be looked at by the stewards. And that was very close for Turkington to collect anyone. It was very close from Huff, who capitalised on that. Huff very nearly getting collected by a flying Turkington. Little bit of transponder issues for Chilton. He drops down but then drops back up. Chilton up the inside of Morgan. Gets on the dirt and that sends Morgan into the gravel. Morgan into the gravel at turn 1. He keeps it going. Morgan up the inside of Watson down towards the turn 4 and 5 chicane we go. Osborne pulls alongside Smiley. Fastest lap for Josh Cook, a 1:22.844. That was done on the last lap. Hill single file. Ingram through the Jim Clark S's as the final cars go through Tower Bend. There was a battle, but we cut away from it to look at the leaders. We look at further back. There's Taylor Smith followed by Colin Turkington. Here is a replay of the Turkington incident with Sutton on the drone cam, and that was very close indeed. And Turkington will not be happy with Sutton for that. We are on board with Turkington. Cook up to 3rd, Sutton to 4th place where he started. Ingram up 1, Huff up 5, Cook up 5, Turkington down 7 since the start of this race. Colin Turkington, no hybrid for the rest of this race. Taylor Smith in front still has hybrid. Will he use it is another story. Across the line once more to start lap 5 of 15. Ingram and Huff kicking up the grass. Ingram kicks up more dust than Huff, and Huff has caught up to Ingram by 0.2 of a second. That's the gap at front. We have a race on our hands. Rob Huff could win his 2nd race of the year. Of course, he had a win up at Snetterton, and Huff dives down the inside at Tower Bend, and Huff takes the lead of race 2 here at Croft. Ingram down to 7. Huff uses his hybrid and he is through. Now Ingram goes on the attack on Huff. Up towards Barcroft and Sunny in we go. But Rob Huff is your leader here at Croft. But Rob Huff has a massive lock up into Sunny Inn. He keeps it going. He keeps it stuck to the apex. Here is a replay looking at Daniel Rowbottom diving up the inside of his teammate Dan Camish, and Rowbottom is through on Camish. That was from the rear of Ash Sutton, the 3 nappers together of Rowbottom, Sutton and Camish in that order. As we exit the hairpin, Huff has already gained a gap at the lead. We have a look as he crosses the line once more, and we will see what that gap is. As Cook used a lap of hybrid on that lap, so did Huff. Hill as well down in 9th, so did Pearson, De Leon and Sumpton. The gap 0.8 of a second, 8.5 of a second, the gap at the front. Sutton very nearly hitting the tyres on the chicane, the second part of the chicane at turn 5. Rowbottom using his hybrid to catch up to Cook, while Cook dives down the inside of Tom Ingram down at Tower. Cook is through into 2nd, and now he will charge up towards Huff. He flashes his indicator at Tom Ingram, does Josh Cook. And Ingram has not yet used any of his laps of hybrid. Huff has used 3 of 7, Ingram 0 of 2, Cook and Rowbottom 4 of 8, Sutton 2 of 4, Camish 1 of 3, Taylor Smith 3 of 5, Turkington 1 of 1, so he's used all of his hybrid. Hill 3 of 6, Chilton 3 of 8, Watson 1 of 8, Morgan 2 of 8, same as Moffat, Doble, Smiley and Pearson. They've all used 2 of 8 laps. Chilton and Watson are using a lap of hybrid. Little bit of lock up for Taylor Smith, who is under attack from Colin Turkington. Aaron Taylor Smith has the hybrid advantage. Turkington will look round the outside. He gives to the Evans Halshaw Paramax racing car a little bit of a tap on the rear bumper. Down the straight we go. Turkington trying to get in the slipstream. It isn't enough. Turkington stays behind Taylor Smith as we go down towards turn 1 once more. Hill's catching up to Turkington because Hill has hybrid. Taylor Smith kicks up the dust at turn 1. Then we cut to turn 4 and 5 and turn 6 up towards Tower Bend. Rowbottom flashing his lights at Tom Ingram. Will he dive up the inside? Rowbottom dives up the inside of Tom Ingram into Tower Bend, and Rowbottom gets to position. Can Ingram fight back? Ingram is dropping. He's not using his hybrid. He's saving it up to the end of the race, and that is Ronan Pearson, who looks like has overheated in the pit lane. Tyres are off. They've got the leaf blowers out, and that looks like an overheated car to me. Cook, fastest lap again, increasing his time to decrease the gap out at front. Rowbottom up to 3rd ahead of Ingram, as I just mentioned. Lap 7 of 15. We are halfway through this race as the lead car goes through the second half of the lap to complete lap 7 of 8. We're on board with Turkington, who gives a little tap of the bumper once again to Taylor Smith going into the hairpin. Turkington gets it turned tighter than Taylor Smith, and he pulls alongside to try and get the slipstream, while Chilton and Hill behind are side by side. Hill on the inside line, Chilton on the outside line. They are door banging. Hill comes across a little bit. There's contact between Hill and Chilton, and that allows Hill to get through. Chilton won't like that. Chilton won't like that one bit, and that keeps Chilton behind in 10th place, so Hill stays in 9th place. Continuing on this battle of Taylor Smith and Turkington up towards Tower Bend, 9th through 14th is all using hybrid. Morgan up to 11th. They've overtaken Watson. Still the battle for 7th for Taylor Smith and Turkington. Taylor Smith in 7th, Turkington in 8th. Now the battle of 7th has extended because Hill and Chilton have joined that train, so it's a train of 4 for 7th place. Lock up for Taylor Smith once more. Hill is right on the back of Turkington. So does Chilton. He is on the back as well. Taylor Smith getting a tap from Turkington as Turkington looks around the outside of the second part of the complex as they exit the complex now in towards the hairpin. Hill goes round the outside of Turkington. Hill side by side with Turkington. Chilton taps the back of Hill. That gets a massive snap, and that means that the places are still the same. Taylor Smith, Turkington, Hill and Chilton, but that's allowed Morgan to get on the back of this train. So now the battle of 7 is the battle for P7 is of 5 cars. Taylor Smith, Turkington, Hill, Chilton and Adam Morgan. They all have hybrid except Colin Turkington in 8th place. That's why Colin Turkington is struggling to get through, because he does not have hybrid, the king of Croft. Hill and Chilton both using hybrid behind him, and does that allow anyone to pull alongside? Hill round the outside of Turkington in towards Tower Bend at the far end of the circuit. Then we go even further up towards Jim Clark S's as well. Hill will slide to the inside of the Jim Clark S's. He goes behind as it's single file through the S's, and then he looks to go up the inside as they go through Barcroft as well. Huff has used 4 of 7, about to use 5 of 7, and Cook has used 5 of 8, about to use 6 of 8 laps. So at the end of this, they will both have 2 laps of contact remaining. Contact, that is Chilton into the side of Hill, and Hill into the barrier at Sunny out. Chilton did indeed go up the inside of Hill, and that drops Hill down. Both wing mirrors gone, and severe contact to the side. We'll see if Hill continues, but Hill in the barrier, and that will change the championship even more. Turkington needed to get 2 wins here to get back in the championship fight. Let's have a look at a replay. Chilton up the inside, just completely door bangs Hill, and Hill does a half spin and then a full spin into the barrier, and that absolutely demolishes his left wing mirror for the 24 car. So Hill has had a trip in the barrier. The stewards may look at that as unavoidable contact, but then that is just classic touring car racing. Huff's still out in front, but Cook is catching. This race could go down to a last lap move between Huff and Cook. Cook looks up the inside. Huff locks up into Sonny and he keeps it on the track. Still 2 laps remaining of hybrid for both of them. Down in towards the complex, it's Huff, Cook, Rowbottom, Ingram, Sutton, Camish, Taylor Smith, Turkington, Morgan, Chilton. Your top 10. Hill has dropped down to 18th after that incident. Pearson still in the pits and I believe has retired. We look further back to Sumpton, then Hill, who is at Sunny out while Sumpton is at that. But we pause as Turkington goes down the outside of Taylor Smith. He tries to get the cut back and he will get the slipstream down the front stretch. He pulls out to try and get past. Chilton used a lap of hybrid that time as we start lap 11 of 15 for the leaders. Cook is using his hybrid to try and get through. Taylor Smith hits the dust there at turn 1, and that allows Turkington to get a little bit closer. Through the chicane we go, a quick right left at full throttle, and then down towards Tower Bend we go. Will Turkington look to the outside? Yes he will. Will he switch to the inside at the last moment? He pulls alongside, but he stays on the outside line. Cook has used all of his hybrid for this lap. He'll have 1 lap of hybrid remaining after the conclusion of lap 11, the lap that we are on. Moffat, Doble, Smiley, Watson, they're all using hybrid on a battle of their own. A little bit of debris from Jake Hill off the racing line on track in between Sunny out and the complex, as that's where the leaders is into now. Rowbottom's using hybrid to try and catch up to the 2 leaders. It's Huff, Cook and Rowbottom all within 2 seconds of each other. The top 3 separated by 2 seconds. Huff using hybrid across the line. They both have 1 lap remaining of hybrid with 3 laps in this race to go. Sorry, 4 laps left of this race to go, including this one. 3 laps next time. Turkington looks round the outside. Will he dive to the inside of turn 1? No he doesn't. He stays behind as Taylor Smith again takes a lot of curb and a little bit of dust down at turn 1. De Leon down in 15th has also used all of his hybrid this time. Turkington down 7, Hill down 12 after their incidents. Turkington with Sutton and Hill with Chilton. Chilton is still in 9th, Sutton is in 5th. Huff locks up again into Sunny Inn. Lot of cars locking up into Sunny Inn, and that is not unusual to see as they go on to 3 tyres, and Morgan has spun round and Hill arrives on the scene, and Morgan has no rear left tyre. So Adam Morgan, he's got the rim still on, but his rubber has gone. He pulls off of the track, so no safety car, but a lot of dirt on the exit of Tower Bend from Adam Morgan. So that takes Adam Morgan out of that battle. Let's see what happens. Is it just a failure? It is just a failure, and that spins him round, and that puts out the yellow flag. So a rear left tyre burst. Could that be because of temperature? We will have to see. Huff's lead has now gone to half a second, but Cook is closing it up as Cook is using his final lap of hybrid. It's Huff using his final lap of hybrid as well. Yes, he is. Cook looks round the outside of Tower Bend. Here we go. The leaders are side by side, but on the outside of this corner is all of the dirt from Chilton. There they go. They go through the dirt now. Cook taps the rear bumper of Huff. They are side by side through the Jim Clark S's. That we do not see. There is no track limit there, but there is. But they do not pay any attention of that. Huff pushed off the circuit by Josh Cook. Josh Cook goes through to the lead. There may be a penalty there, but that allows Rowbottom to catch up to the leaders. So it's Cook, Huff, Rowbottom, your 3 leaders. Rowbottom looks round the outside of Huff. Was there a bit of tyre smoke there? Was there a yellow flag at another part of the circuit? Yes, there is. Smiley, it looks like he has overheated and he is into the pit lane at 10 miles per hour. Smiley, Morgan and Pearson are all in pit lane. Morgan's made it back through the cut through at the hairpin and at Tower Bend. Josh Cook and Rob Huff both out of hybrid. Chilton, Turkington and De Leon are both out of hybrid. 2 laps to go in this one. And we are on the penultimate lap. Josh Cook is getting away, but Rob Huff closes that gap with Rowbottom just behind Huff as well, through the dirt caused by Adam Morgan that has now disappeared as they go through. They get rid of the last bit of dirt as they go through the Jim Clark S's, but you do not normally see cars going too wide through the Jim Clark S's. They were both off the track, so we will see what the stewards say of that. There may be a post-race penalty that we will keep you updated on in race 3. Morgan is back out on track. Let's have a look at the replay. Cook goes round the outside of Tower Bend, then he cuts to the inside. He gives Huff a little bit of a tap. Then Cook goes round the outside of the first part of the Jim Clark SS to the inside. That pushes Huff right off the circuit by meters. That gets his tyres all dirty with all of the rubber and into the dirt at Barcroft, and that just gave Cook the advantage. On to start the final lap we go. Black and white flag for a couple of cars, the 47 and the 16, the 80 as well. Ingram and Sutton, they are battling. Ingram under pressure from Ash Sutton. These two have had a history, haven't they? As they go through turn 3, they go up towards the chicane at turn 4 and 5, and we look back to them now. Sutton bouncing over the curbs, he gets more speed through the chicane. As Rowbottom goes around the outside of Huff, that is for second place. Now we look further back to the battle between Ingram and Sutton. Rowbottom on hybrid as they go up towards the Jim Clark S's. He'll stay single file through the S's up towards Barcroft, and he'll look to go up the inside of Sunny Inn, no doubt. Here we go, through the dust at Barcroft, and Huff locks up once again. Rowbottom stays single file through Sunny Inn. Will he try Sunny out? No, he won't. He just closes the gap, and he continues to use hybrid on the outside of Sunny out. In towards the complex we go. But we look to Josh Cook, apologies for that, as Huff and Rowbottom side by side. Rowbottom round the outside, it's not enough. Josh Cook comes across the line, he flashes his lights. The team are very happy. Josh Cook wins round 17 of 30 of the 2024 British Touring Car campaign. Huff second, Rowbottom third, Ingram fourth, Sutton fifth, Camish sixth, and across the line is the group of cars. Taylor Smith 7th, 8th Chilton, 9th Turkington, Moffat 10th, Doble 11th, and a battle with De Leon. Watson 12th, Osborne 13th, De Leon down to 14th, Sumpton 15th in the last points paying position. Josh Cook, your race winner. Rob Huff will have to see what he says. Championship results. This is his second win for Josh Cook, his 20th all-time race win. He was 8th in race 1, and now he's got a win, and he'll have the opportunity to pull the reverse grid number. The team are absolutely delighted. The LKQ Eurocar parts with Synetic entry, and a Toyota. They weren't normally strong round here, but they have made some changes. But let's go through the full results. It's Josh Cook winning by 0.742 of a second. Then it's Daniel Rowbottom, Tom Ingram, Ash Sutton, your top 5. Then it's Camish. Taylor Smith, your winning independent car in 7th. Chilton. then on towards Turkington, Moffat, your top 10, then 11th down, your second independent driver, Doble, Watson, Osborne, then Dowd de Leon and Scott Sumpton, 2 independent drivers in 14th and 15th. Then 16th is Hill, 17th is Halstead, 18th is Morgan, Smiley in 19th and 20th. Here's a look at the Drivers' Championship. Tom Ingram, 238, 17 points lead over Jake Hill with 221. After Ingram finishing up in 4th, and Hill no points at all, down in 16th, 1 place out of the points. Josh Cook in towards Toka Technical, he gets told to turn his engine off. The rollers go under the car, and it looked like all thumbs up, but they cut off to add brakes. So let's see if I can get the BTCC live audio working. Josh was able to do it. If I work quick, then we may be able to hear from Alan Hyde down there. Yep, we'll go down and listen. If I just make sure it all works for you. There you go. It's a bit quiet, but I'll try and make it a bit louder.
Mikey Doble, who finished 11th, or it could be Andrew Watson, who finished 12th. We'll find out in a few minutes' time, but for now, let's get some reaction down in the pit lane with Alan.
We've got the IT Sport, the big glass bowl, which contains the numbered ping pong balls, one of which will be picked out to work out how many of those places are going to be reversed. And a lovely big cheer for Josh when he got out of the car. He hugged Jade Edwards, he hugged his dad and the rest of the team now, and yep, he'll be happy with that, absolutely no doubt. His teammate, I wonder how happy Huffy is going to be as he brings the car to a stop at the number 2 board. The way Rob Huff has been in his racing in latter years, I reckon he's still going to be pretty pleased with that. He would have wanted the win. He was determined for the win, but he recognises the two of them, I reckon, were racing very, very well together. It'd be just interesting to see if Rob is particularly upset. No, we'll get a thumbs up and a clap as well, and he applauds Josh, and they're smiling. So just a couple of words between them and a hug as well. I'm gonna so I can just have a word with Josh. See, I was slightly nervous what that conversation was going to be, but it was all right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it went out the window or not.
It was fine. What a move.
Thank you. Rob was obviously kind to me, so yeah, it was a bit risky putting on the action.
Brave, yeah.
You know, I'd do it again.
Yeah, there was a determination. I mean, clearly the soft tyre, you guys were in a league of your own, but to watch the battle unfold between the soft tyres at the front, just wonderful.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, I had to be mindful that Robo was reeling us in a little bit when we started dicing, so I had to be a little bit smart. And but yeah, I'm a bit out of breath after that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I'm going to let you catch your breath, Josh. Thank you very much indeed for having a chat to me. It is hard work. So I was just pleased to see you get out the car and have a smile on your face, to be honest.
What a great race. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was wonderful to watch.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, and Josh did a great move. He fully deserved that. Thought I had him covered off, and if he wasn't my teammate, I definitely would have put him on the grass. And sorted it out afterwards. But yeah, proper clean race, really good. We did exactly what we wanted to do, which was get past everyone, force the issue in the first 2 or 3 laps, and then pull away from everyone. That's what we did. So
yeah, I mean, the Toyotas looked absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, we've done some great work, so huge congratulations to Speedworks. This is totally testament to the work they've done in the last 4 weeks, and yeah, car feels good.
Yeah, they didn't have a summer break then, did they?
Definitely not. No, they've been working harder than anyone.
Top man, Huffy, get your breath back. Thank you very much indeed. And what about Robo? Where is he? He's over there, and he's hot, he's sweaty, but he's on the podium. I said, you're hot and sweaty, but you're on the podium. That's good news.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I mean, it's a nice way to sort of come back from yesterday. It was a bit of a disaster. So, yeah, we had good pace. We fell off a little bit in the middle, but we had so much... That's nice. That's Pete Osborne tipping cold water down my neck. He's a lovely guy.
He's a lovely team boss, isn't he?
He's amazing. He's amazing. He's the best. Yeah, no, so, yeah, it was good recovery. I mean, temperatures are hard out there today, so, you know, I'm disappointed we couldn't get a win. I think if we could have got there a few laps...
We were wondering, you know.
No, I know, but, you know, it was definitely on, but not enough laps, so it's fine. It's all
well
good.
done, Robo. Get your breath back. Thank you very much indeed. That's the top 3 drivers down in Park Fairmay, and, yeah, good to hear the bounce back. The voice of Dan Rowbottom. He needed that. He really needed that. And this is a really good podium, isn't it? Josh Cook, Rob Huff, Dan Rowbottom on the podium, and that's coming up next.
Good race, wasn't it? Good race.
Oh,
that.
just what?
What a move. We've had some good moves this year, haven't we?
That was an absolutely incredible race. Just having a look at the highlights of Chilton going up the inside of Hill. That spun Hill into the barrier, and then the incredible move of the 2 Toyotas side by side, Cook and Huff. What an incredible move that was, and Cook coming across the line to take the checkered flag, and a Toyota 1-2. Let's go down to Louise Goodman, who has more insight.
Yeah, fantastic race, Steve, and a fantastic 1-2 for Toyota as well. I mean, how much fun was that?
It was nerve-wracking. It was a bit of a handful, but yeah, really pleased. You know, I think that yesterday didn't quite go to plan, and I wasn't best pleased about it. I think we really had a car to fight for that front row in qualifying yesterday. So I think that is a little bit of what we should have had maybe in race 1. So really pleased. I mean, the car was mega, really good. Just we definitely found some pace over the over that summer break, but we need to see if it stays there and we can keep developing in the direction that we are. But I'm so pleased for LKQ Euro car parts with Cinetic. It's a mouthful, but I got it all in. So yeah, just really pleased as well for Speedworks, and obviously getting a 1-2 for the team. Yeah.
That's a bold move to put on anybody around the outside of that corner, but to put it on your teammate, there was no thinking twice about it, there was there?
I'm not sure I did think about it, to be honest. I ended up there on lap 1 and ended up sliding wide onto the grass, which wasn't ideal, but because I knew I cleaned it on lap 1, and I thought I'd go for it again on the overtake. But yeah, really pleased. Obviously Rob could have made my life much more difficult, and he didn't, so huge thanks to him for that. But yeah, it's all eyes on race 3 now. We need to score another bag of points. Well done,
and well done to you too, Rob. I mean, you'd have liked the win.
Listening to what he was saying, just to make sure that it wasn't being horrible.
And
as he said.
Yeah.
No, brilliant race. Really pleased. I mean, obviously would have loved to have won, but he did a good move, and that's what I'm learning this year. We're coming back to all these tracks after 20 years. I never thought for a million years you could go around the outside of someone through the Jim Clark S's, and apparently you can. So yeah, I'll put that in the bucket list. But yeah, I think if it was anyone else other than my teammate, I probably would have made life a bit harder work for them for sure. But yeah, just a great race. Huge testament to Speedworks for the 4 weeks work they've done. They've got these cars singing now, and we're where we want to be.
Good stuff. Hello, how nice to see you up here on the podium. You really wanted that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few weekends of a bit of trial and tribulation, so it's good to pay the guys back. They worked really hard all weekend. Qualifying yesterday was a right nose up, as we know, so to get a podium out of race 2 is good. We just need to try and do the same in race 3.
How was it? I mean, the car looked like it was giving you everything that you needed from it. Any tricky moments?
The car's been on fire all weekend. From the minute we put it down to now, it's been really good. We maybe suffered a little bit in the middle. We didn't find the easiest route through the traffic through the hard tyre, so I think we took a lot out of the tyre at the start of the race, so we lost a bit of pace in the middle. It came back at the end, so yeah, Huff is a wide old car, so I'll have to try harder next time.
Nice one. Right, let's go over to Steve now for the reverse grid draw.
I've got Josh Cook in order to make the reverse grid draw. One further reflection, don't you just love these new tyre regulations?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a chance. Yesterday obviously didn't go to plan for us in qualifying. We definitely had a car that was capable of fighting right for the front row, but sadly it just didn't pan out, and the new qualifying rules get you out pretty quickly, so I'm glad that the tyre rules allow us to have a second stab at it in race 2.
At what point did you realise the win was on?
I don't really know. As soon as I saw a bit of an overlap that I could get on Rob, I just hung it out there, and luckily he was kind enough to give me a little bit of room, and just managed to make it stick.
Well, it might get even better. Let's make the reverse grid draw and see what you can produce there. Reminder to everyone at home that in the bowl here we've got numbers 6 through 12. 6 is Dan Camish. You've drawn number 8, which is Tom Chilton, going on to pole position, which could be welcome. Very interesting indeed. And that's a very rapid reverse grid draw, and a very good one from your point of view.
It's not too bad, yeah, it could have been worse, but yeah, we'll take that.
Fantastic race, and well done, and great entertainment for everyone. And that reverse grid draw is coming up at 5 o'clock. We're going to get back out to the track action now. We've got one race from the Virtu Mini Challenge here on the programme.
Yeah, absolutely. So, your top 12 on the grid for race 3. Chilton on pole, Taylor Smith, row 1. Row 2, Camish Sutton. Row 3, Ingram, row bottom. Row 4, Huff Cook. Row 5, Turkington Moffat, and row 6, Doble Watson. Okay then, that was an incredible race, an incredible move for the race victory on the penultimate lap, side by side through the Jim Clark S's. Huff and Cook both like that. We'll see you a little bit later on for the race 3, the reverse grid race, which is coming a little bit later on today at the time of 4:45 pit open. We'll hope to see you there. See you then.